Chafing Armor Podcast. Blah. I might keep that. Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 154. Three-prong attack. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and lovable Dungeon Master, Michael Corley, and with me tonight is Riley. Riley, tell us who you will be playing.
Hi, I'm Riley, and I'm playing Athora Greyfield, a tiefling fighter.
Indeed. And also with us tonight is Lee. Lee, tell us who you will be playing.
Okay, everybody, my name is Lee, and I'll be playing Distant Bells, the Kenku stuffed toy rogue.
You are not wrong. And slightly taller is your character, Tix, is Dare. Dare, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello, everyone. I am Dare, and I am playing Tix Birchmanson, the Mighty Paladin.
Indeed. And last but not least, we have James. James, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello, everyone. My name is James. I'm playing Penton Shellis, a spell scale sorcerer.
Wonderful. And Izzy sadly will not be able to be with us tonight. She is with us in spirit and has achieved NPC status and is now walking into a wall. No, just kidding. When we last left our players, they were getting ready to head out to retrieve the second half of the staff as the days ticked by. They retrieved a magic pearl that blessed the city of Kalimvor. They were strangely attacked as their conveyance and friend, Audrey 3, the necromantic chicken hut, was dragged by the sea and nearly turned into residuum. And in fact, her legs were badly damaged, which ended with... as the saying goes, Penton going medieval on the ass of the wizard responsible. We cut back to the elders, one of the councilwomen, Bezra Badgen, along with the sheriff, the constable of the town, walking up to y'all. At the same time, a bell ringing out from the ocean. And you could see in the distance the good ship piss whistle coming. And there is also an alarm sounding. The alarm generally reserved for the city under attack. However, just so we can make hay and make hash with this stuff and make sense of it, let us say that the group approaching you came slightly before the other two. So they come forward, and the constable comes forward first. Does anyone remember the name of this constable for bonus points?
Yes.
No,
I have to
we're playing for points now?
You win a free fruit snack.
That would be kind of gross by the time it gets here.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. I do not recommend eating it.
Ulfar, the magistrate?
That is correct.
Ding,
that
ding,
is correct.
ding.
Very good.
I get
very
two
good.
bonus inspirations.
That's right. That is not true.
Despite the fact that you can only get one at a time.
Exactly.
Don't be picky.
But he comes forward and Distant Bells. What are you up to right now? Where are you? Just give me a space, a location where you would be right after this battle where y'all were trying to desperately save the hut from being atomized.
I would be... Distant Bells would likely be down at the shore line, kind of trying to wipe off brain matter and blood material from when Penton decided that the wizard didn't need a head anymore.
By the way, Penton is covered in gore.
Yes.
Like, just covered in gore. Because you took the giant... gem, which, by the way, is really valuable, and beat this wizard to death with it. So you are, you look like something out of a horror movie. As you are still in your Dragonborn form, I believe.
That is correct, sir.
Yes. As they come forward, they all pause and look at you, Penton. But you, Distant Bells, catch a moment where Ulfar turns and just gives you like a piercing gaze. And then he very deliberately looks away from you. Like, as in that thing where you, like, aren't looking at someone, but you totally know they're there. He does that.
Did this man's just blank me?
He did. He absolutely
This
did.
man's just blanked me?
And he's a little off put because you could tell he's reaching into his he's got like a duster, like an old West duster, and he's pulling out a scroll. And that's when like his brain registers what he's seeing is this horror scene on this small little constructed area. And he says, what is exactly going on here?
Pendle will jump down off the tower, still holding the gem and still covered in gore, and just sort of glide down to the area where they're at on the ground. We were taking care of a problem.
And this is Bezra is looking up, and Bezra being the older woman, she walks with a staff. You get the impression that she might be a wizard. You're not really sure. And she says, "Is that the wizard from the tower?"
It was.
Not anymore.
He tried destroying our hut. He
got
stopped.
greedy.
My goodness. Well, I had... Oh, dear. He tried to destroy your hut. And she's watching. The hut is like, not quite writhing, but like kind of twitching on the ground as it cannot stand because its toes are missing.
Bells points at the residuum in front of their whole deal and just goes, "He tried."
He failed.
And she actually like leans forward on her staff, like she's very, very tired, and she says, I do not know what to say. This.
Do you
This
know
is
anybody
my
that
fault.
can repair constructs here?
We did already send off.
You did send off for Prognati. Your message.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
was
he's
sent.
going to get here anytime soon.
That is true. That is
True.
absolutely true. She says, I do not know of an artificer in our village, in our town, that would be capable of such a feat. However, I will absolutely make inquiries. I have a network that covers all of Hyboria, and if we can find someone, we will. I had set him to the task of obtaining residuum. And never in my dreams would I have imagined he would have done such a thing. And so I must apologize to you.
No need. You just gave the directive. You're the one that decided to do it this way.
Well, clearly he was looking to...
Take revenge.
Perhaps. I knew that he did not care for your group, though I did not know the reason.
Well, we made him pee his pants in public.
Well, that would do it. Yes, some men are extremely vain. Oh, my goodness. But there is one other matter that we must attend to, and I apologize, but it must be done immediately. And she nods to Olfar, who then continues to pull out the scroll and unravels it. And in a suddenly very presentational voice, very loud presentational voice, he goes, "Hear ye, hear ye. This is a proclamation by the kingdom of Hyboria from the King Tezrin on the authority of the Council of Elders. It is henceforth put forward that enemy of the realm and enemy of the state and he who must be brought forth and put to immediate and summary death is henceforth the Kinku, known as Distant Bells." And then he glances once more towards you, Distant Bells, and looks away again.
Bells is kind of preening. He's still a bird after all, and he just kind of stops halfway through and just sort of like there's an unmistakable "huh?"
What the hell?
from the Kenku as he just kind of peeks out from under his arm where he was preening his under. It's like, "Huh?"
Tix stands
Go
up to his full height and places himself directly in front of the magistrate and the representatives, says, well, for one thing, you must be mistaken. And two, if you're not mistaken, which you are, we're going to have a problem.
Penton walks over and stands in front of Bells, still covered in gore, still holding a giant gem.
Bells
Stands there menacingly.
Bells just kind of walks forward. He's kind of like pats the big fella, like, stand down. It's fine. And just kind of walks up and goes, may I see this?
He hands it to you. He absolutely hands it to you. And because it goes on, there's a lot of proclamations on here, but the summary, and which he says out loud to the rest of you, is that rescue efforts have been sent to the destroyed city of Zintel Keep. And by the way, what comes out in the, what is not said is that the people were saved because of the finding of additional resources that got them through until help could arrive. Obviously, meaning you, Tix, and you, Thora. But as word of the destruction came out, the final word was that the instigator, the cause, the person who caused the destruction of Zintel Keep and thousands of lives dead was Distant Bells. And so he has been declared an enemy of the state and is to be found, and a reward of 5,000 gold for the capture and the 10,000 reward for the execution of Distant Bells.
Bells
to be carried out immediately.
Bells kind of looks around and kind of pockets the proclamation.
You can't. It's too big.
Yeah. I was kind of picturing you just kind of like hopping around on the ground.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I see now. Yeah, Bells kind of. In that case, Bells just kind of kicks it to one side and just like, did anybody see me?
And I would like you, Distant Bells, to make a persuasion roll.
Oh, no. Oh, actually, no. That's diplomacy. I've got that. That's good. That's a 27. I have a plus 10 to diplomacy.
A very tiny smile comes across Ulfar's face. And he said, twice I have attacked the individual known as Distant Bells. Both times I was wrong, and he was defending those in need. However, this is a proclamation directly from the king, so I must fulfill my duty and arrest the Kinku known as Distant Bells. And he looks around very dramatically and then looks down at you and says, but I do not see a Kinku here at the moment.
All we have are constructs.
Indeed. However, I must impress upon all of you that not everyone will have eyesight as poor as mine.
Yes, well, Tix reaches up and polishes the marshal badge that he got from Mossgate on his chest and says, I think your eyesight is just fine, and that it is absolutely correct in its summation of what's going on. And by the authority granted to me by the king, I will make sure that if I have to deal with this rogue Distant Bells, it will be in such a fashion as is appropriate.
He nods to you. Very well. We will see if there's anything that can be done to give aid to your conveyance. And that is when, bing, bing, you hear out in the distance the familiar bell, which y'all came to know, everyone except Athora and Distant Bells, of course. The familiar ring of the the good ship Pisswhistle as it breaks through the fog of the early evening and is coming closer. And, it looks really good. It looks almost like the co-owner of it, a certain scraggly man, Bainwright, was siphoning money off much-needed repairs. And the Pisswhistle looks like it's in really good shape and has had a fresh coat of paint put on it. And it's coming forward, and you see the anchor weighed outside and a small rowing vessel being launched from the side.
Somebody's girlfriend's coming.
Get yourself a girlfriend.
And sure enough, very soon in the gathering night, there comes several figures. You actually recognize the half-orc and male who were married, by the way, from the ship, who are rowing. But with them is the captain of the ship, Captain Jackson. And she also looks really good. Like, she has embraced her new shifter side. She has her arms are bare, like she's wearing a sleeveless jerkin and nothing else on top. And like she just has like knotted muscles from her transformation. And like there's just like a tiny tuft of fur on each shoulder, but it looks right on her. And she is gazing forward and laughing as she sees y'all. And, of course, at the very edge of the bow is a dwarf. And Tix, what do you say as she approaches?
He runs up and hugs her in public.
Wonderful. Dwarves are not given to affection, and she is a very stoic woman. And in fact, you notice that she even has her great maul strapped to her back as if ready for anything. And she's not very combat oriented, but she has one. She's a dwarf after all. But she leaps onto the water and embraces you. And, oh, my dear Tix, it's so good to see you in one piece.
It's wonderful to see you too, my dear. I believe we're almost at the end of this, and then you and I can talk about our future.
Oh, now I like the sound of a man who's willing to make a commitment. I think we could do some great things together, you and I.
I think so too.
This is where you break into song.
That's right. This is the musical that we've all been waiting for, and hit it. No, Captain Jackson, just a really brawny-looking sailor woman, tanned skin, walks up to you, Athora, and says, "And who might you be?"
Well, I'm Athora, Greyfield. Traveling with the party.
Oh, goodness. We had, and she kind of bows her head a little bit, we had heard word of the fall of our friend. And he is missed. So I'm sure that if you are with them, that all is in good company. And what's this? She is just delighted to look down. Captain Jackson looks down at you, Distant Bells, as she sees you moving about, carrying this oversized scroll.
Oh yeah, Bells will be
magical
walking. Bells will be walking along it, having kicked it away. Just be walking along it, admiring all the different things that they have accused him of doing, especially the destruction of a city. Sort of going through his head, wow, that I don't know of any other Kenku who has this kind of record. If you look at him, he's actually hopping like a bird would along like pages. He's not walking, he's hopping. He's boop, 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 boop. From accusation to accusation and just having a good time. Going through all the, wow, I didn't do that, and I didn't do that. I wish I'd done that. I might have done that. I didn't do that. Oh yeah, I did do that. And then sort of it filters back to him that this strange voice is talking to him. Kind of looks up and sees Captain Jackson and is just like, "Hello."
It talks too. That's amazing. What did y'all enchant this, Penton? Is this your doing?
No.
And by the way,
I'm a big dragon man now. So
no. She points to her nose and she goes. Shifters don't know their nose. I knew it was you immediately.
I see.
You looks like you've had a rough day.
Somebody else had a rougher day.
I love it. I love
Bells kind of turns and says, "Go wash off, big boy. The sea's right there."
I prestidigitate and get it all off of me.
Yeah.
That works.
Which sends me back into my normal form.
Bells kind of looks at him and then points at himself and goes, "Hello, please? I can't get wet."
I'll extend it over to him too.
Bells nods appreciatively. "Thank you."
Well, Duncan says that I am here at the behest of the King Tessin, who has sent me to give whatever aid that I can. And while I was going, a very unusual individual appeared who claimed to be an illusionist. And he actually passed on something that apparently was ready after we had left. And it's from someone that Jackson and I have gotten to know. It is a jewel crafter in town.
Oh.
And she reaches into the boat and she pulls out a long wrapped in oilskin, and she hands it to you, Penton.
Oh, I've been waiting for this. Is she doing okay, by the way?
She is doing fantastic. She's very tired. She's been working nonstop on the defense of the realm. And we are all very impressed. But we've gotten to know her, and between her and the new mine owner, we have worked out some very profitable trade routes for the Sand Swallow Seas.
Oh, fantastic.
So things are going very well between us. We've already had a couple of ladies' nights. Says
well.
Duncan, and she laughs, and Jackson laughs as well. And they look at each other. They're clearly sharing an inside joke that you will never know.
Penton blushes a bit. Can only imagine. And let's see my lady's handiwork. And he pulls off the oilcloth.
And there is, even though it's now like early dusk is the light, it's almost like a shines as it falls away. It is a perfectly ordinary staff, except that the wood is made from the very rare wood that the piss whistle is actually made from.
Oh.
And all of you recognize it. In fact, you now have a toy version of it in your pack, Distant Bells. It is the frost spear pine.
Oh, my.
That so it is not magical, but it is almost supernaturally hard. And almost delicately, it has been covered in a tracery, just gorgeous tracery of titanite. And you would guess that this staff is almost indestructible. And yet, it is completely non-magical.
Exactly. When Penton puts his hand on it, he has the ability to like imbue some magic into his weapons to make them magical in a sense. Mm-hmm. And that's evidenced by the just a soft glow coming from the lines along the staff as it spreads out from his hand.
And it ignites, it vroom, 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 goes through the tracery, and you actually do see a few words in Draconic scripted into it. Specifically, your name.
Scald was here.
Yes. Yeah, well, it is actually your full name is traced very delicately and almost imperceptibly to anyone who would not be paying attention. And your mother peeks around and goes, "Oh, now that is pretty."
I agree. And made by something even prettier. I'll have to introduce you later.
Oh, yes, I would love that. That would be delightful. And that's when the klaxon goes off. The klaxon, yes, that signaling. It's a bell. It's a bell, but it's signaling that the city is under attack. And at that moment, Morezi looks up at all of you, and she says, "Oh no!" And then, Morezi is gone. Just
oh no!
Gone. She just is gone. There's no. It's a lot like when Distant Bells has teleported to the astral plane. Like there's no bamf or anything. She just is gone.
Did she look forcibly extracted, or like surprised to see somebody?
Surprised.
Or
she just looks surprised. Make a spot check.
Oh, my favorite.
Yep. You do have.
Oh no, that's a
field
one.
nearby.
That's a one.
You have no idea. You have no idea. Well, you were looking right at her, and you just like were wait, what? And then boom, she was gone.
I got something in my eye as soon as she
Literally
disappeared.
blinked and he missed her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, exactly. It was in the blink of an eye. And with that, Ulfar begins crying out orders because several of his guards are there with him, and he goes, "Head to the, man the defenses, alarm the, arouse the army, get the private militia going, get the alarm going, and get the people away from the gates now, and get those defenses ready." And Bezra Bajan says, "But the defenses are not finished yet. We don't have enough residuum." And he goes, "I don't care. It doesn't matter. We have to get everything ready now." And she casts a spell, and she is gone. She teleports away. And what would y'all like to do?
Should we go see what all the fuss is about?
Yeah, I suppose we're here. We might as well defend the city so that there's something left to save.
What's our timetable right now?
You have about 6 days.
Oh, okay.
No, 7 days. You have 7 days, full days before the time limit is reached. You do now have access to a fast-moving boat that could take you out there, and you do have several potions of water breathing, along with possibly some other methods of breathing underwater. And by the way, the only thing you know for sure is that the staff is underneath the Kraken's lair. You don't know exactly what that means.
Yeah.
But you do know that it's under... I should also point out, you don't know exactly where the Kraken's lair is, except that it's out in the Sand Swallow Sea.
Right.
It's possible that Taka knows, since they technically put it there.
It should also be noted at least one of the party cannot go in water. Or should not go in water.
Yep.
Penton's going to kneel down by Bells. I realize this is kind of a predicament, but then again, they're really busy right now. My mother mentioned that she might be able to help you out with your situation, and I'm wondering if you want to do that right now.
Bells kind of looks up and then looks at the obvious dragon in disguise, and just kind of goes, "Shh, let's give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen? Aside from, death."
Penton glances over to his mother and has a questioning face.
Bells also kind of looks at the scroll on the floor and then goes, "I mean, I'm dead anyway, so why not?"
She steps forward and she literally cracks her knuckles But somehow
reflexively takes a step back at this woman who he knows is a dragon, cracking her knuckles and just kind of goes, okay.
All right, let's do this. I have a good feeling about this. And there is just a moment, Distant Bells, when you get a glimpse of the dragon behind her. Not really, not literally, but the power behind her. And you feel it too, especially Penton.
His eyes are very difficult to see. But if you could see them, you would notice his pupils actually dilate, like in terror. God.
Meanwhile, Penton is having flashbacks to his childhood where he's realizing that these waves of what he's experiencing from his mother is what he thought was like, motherly love and stuff. But no, it was her dragon power that was emanating from her every now and then.
Exactly. So she is going to fling forward and grasp you by the throat, Distant Bells. So will you resist?
In the first second, there is the instinct to just kind of wriggle loose, and he feels like he probably could. But then sort of, like, there's a part of his brain that's just like, she's trying to help you. Yes, this is weird, but also you don't need to breathe. What's the problem? It's just instantaneous reaction to being grabbed by the throat rather than, like, it doesn't do anything. So he just kind of like stiffens for a bit and then like relaxes. It's like, whatever you need to do, girl, just like,
This would be the moment we realize that you have a squeaky toy inside.
every time you squeeze it, a different sound from a different voice comes out.
But no, she grasps hold of you, and she's not squeezing hard. She's just grabbing you. And you're very small, so that's actually the easiest way for her to grab hold of you. And just power begins to flow through you. And as it does, you actually feel something you haven't felt in a while, which is outright pain. You feel pain, but not from her hand, not from your throat. It's coming from your shackle that is bound to your flesh.
Oh, ow, yeah, okay.
Begins
ow.
to burn. It begins to burn, and all of you begin to smell the smell of if you took a stuffed animal and held it over the fire.
Bells is screaming, by the way, in every single noise he knows how to make. Because this hurts. Bearing in mind, for those who don't know, this has been on him since before he can remember. Like, this was put on him days after he hatched. Like, he forgot it was there.
You take 10 points of fire damage. Cannot save.
Oh, and also that doubles. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So you take 20 points of fire damage as you begin to burn. And she lets go. And you are not humanoid again. She looks down and she touches your anklet, your shackle.
Ow. Okay, why? Stop, please, that hurts.
And it is very, very painful. And she says, This is unexpected. Your soul is locked by this.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
It is not.
The thing that made me like this told me I was soul locked. What does that mean? He says in between screams of pain.
There is a very unpleasant smell coming from you at the moment.
That's nothing special.
Right.
There's always been some weird smell coming from him.
Tix is going to come over and lay on hands and see if he can heal a construct.
You did not know whether or not you could, but you have been able to heal Audrey in the past. And it seems that it depends on the construct. And you can. You absolutely can heal him.
Okay.
And so how much do you heal him for?
That is 19 points of healing.
Beautiful.
So all but 1 point instantly heals. And, like, there was a little bit of stuffing coming out of your leg. Because it had actually ripped a hole in your leg
My goodness.
where it had burned through. It was very unpleasant. And
While he's healing him, I'm going to get my my magic using dispassion on, and I'm going to cast Identify on the shackle, so I can learn the ins and outs of it if I can.
Okay. And so what exactly are you going to do?
I'm going to cast Identify on the shackle so I can understand.
Oh, Identify on the shackle. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You said that. My brain just went when you said that.
I have that effect on people.
Does that take 10 minutes or an hour?
I think it's 10 minutes. I can double check. Boop, 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 boop.
Normally it wouldn't matter, but
The city's being attacked.
with the city under attack, it matters.
His mother should be able to do it instantly.
Oh yeah, it's too long of a time to cast.
Your mother steps forward, and the DM is not going to just use her as a plot device, but she is an adult dragon, and she puts her hand on it, and
Ow.
and it is though it is actually very quickly beginning to cool, like very quickly, like much faster than it should have.
Yeah, but you know those phantom pains you get when you touch a hot stove, even though it's not burning anymore. That's what it's that warmth that's gone under the skin, and it's just kind of burning there. Even though it's not on fire anymore, it still hurts to touch, just a bit.
It did almost burn your leg off, like literally burn your leg off. She touches it, and there's again one of those pulses of power, and she says, "This is very dark magic. This was, I assume, placed onto you by a wizard or an artificer?"
Bells nods. Black blood.
I am not familiar. This is. Have you ever been transformed before in any other way, like into a frog, say?
Out of character, I'm struggling to think of.
No, you haven't. You haven't. Not in the game.
No, I haven't.
She goes, because it should not have been possible for this creature to turn you into a construct. Like this magic that has locked you in place should have kept you only. So this creature was essentially a god to have been able to do this to you.
He kind of said about the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, so the only way. This is where I'm trying to get to. The only way to break this enchantment on you is we must break this chain. We must break this shackle. That is the only way. And I do not have the ability to break this shackle. I do not know what does.
Bells kind of looks up at Penton and goes, "Well, we gave it a shot. Ow."
Well, the other thing to do is cut off the leg and find a very high experienced cleric to restore your leg afterwards, after we pull the chain off.
I had this weird thought. Who do we know that can affect metal without using magic?
Who is that?
I believe he's living in somebody's backpack.
Oh.
Bell's eyes widen. He kind of shakes his head and starts to back, or like crawling, like pushing away, like no, you keep that thing away from me.
Instantly, the song. Now this looks like a job for me, and
Felzik.
Felzik's head just
You are
pops
so
out. You see
smart.
two green emeralds just lock on you, Distant Bells.
Bells kind of flips over. You know that Tom and Jerry cartoon or Looney Tunes cartoon where someone's got a hold of like Sylvester and he's dragging them back into a hole and he's kind of scrabbling with his front legs.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, exactly. Scrabbling with his front legs. That's what Bells is doing, trying desperately to crawl up the beach away from this thing that clearly has set his sights on his ankle. He's like, no. We'll find something else. And we'll find somewhere else. No. Please, no. Get it away from me. No.
But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I will take care of it. I only eat metal and rock. I won't harm you. Plus, it looks delicious.
And all that Distant Bells can hear is grumble, 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 rocks grinding.
That's right. You can't understand because only the only person here, unless Penton casts tongues, though you suspect your mother can understand Terran. So all you hear is the sound of rocks being rubbed together as this thing
that makes it way more terrifying. That's all I can hear, and I'm going no. You keep that thing away from me.
He can take care of it.
I'll bet he can. He can do it somewhere else. He's not touching my leg. No.
He's not going to touch your leg. He's just going to touch the manacle.
And
the manacle is in my leg.
The mouth splits open, and there's just an empty maw. Remember that Felzik has been growing and is now just a little bit shorter than Tex. Is still very, very small, of course, but is much bigger than when y'all started.
Look at the size of him! Look at the size of me! No.
I am loving every second of this.
So here's the thing, Distant Bells. Are you going to try to escape from Felzik as they approach you?
Look at the size of this thing, and it wants to chomp on my leg.
It's not going to chomp on your leg. It's going to eat the manacle.
It's attached to my leg.
You will be free.
Now.
I will keep you alive.
Oh, yeah. Like you can. Bells almost says something he's going to regret, and it's like,
You know how, like, have you ever gone to an event where they have, like, a thing to make it show that you were there on your wrist, and they, like, put it on there real tight?
Nope.
But you could.
Because Bells is always snuck into places he's not supposed to be.
But if you're careful, you can like slide a dagger underneath it and cut it so you don't hurt yourself to get it off. It'll be like that.
Oh yeah, because his mouth looks exactly like a dagger.
Have a little faith.
Here, I'll hold your hands while you're doing it. You'll be okay.
Oh,
that's right.
Bells flashes back to all the frost that this tiefling has caused on other people. He's like, "You're not touching me, no."
And in that instant, Athora, you get a mental flash from your cat, and it's your cat sitting there eating popcorn, and you just see you glance back behind you, and it is just sitting with the most like, I am loving everything. This is delightful. Just look on its face that only a cat can have, as it watches all of this transpire. So are you going to try to hold on to him, Athora, in a loving yet restraining manner?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so Athora, I would like you to make an attack roll. And I would like, I also, well, no, that wasn't as good as I thought. I thought that was an 18, but it was a 13. So that wasn't quite as good. But what do you roll, Athora?
16.
16. Okay. So neither of those are technically better than the armor. So your first try, Distant Bells, describe to me how you scramble out of the way.
I just do that. I just scramble out of the way, dragging one of my burnt leg behind me. I still have 3 good limbs.
Is anyone else going to assist in this maneuver as Felzik keeps closing in?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast web on him.
All right.
Oh, that's much more than what I was going to do.
It covers an area. That way, if he tries to jump out of the side, it'll also catch him.
Okay.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
That's the thought.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
out of nowhere, the very thing that you once tried to use to save the life of your bear buddy is now being used to capture your bird buddy. As many layers of strong, sticky strands fling forward. And I would like you to make a reflex saving throw.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, no. That's a 34.
34. So, by the way, you are not held, but you are still entangled. I'm sorry, you are not entangled, but you are but not prevented from moving. So you are considered entangled now.
You're not stuck, but you're in the middle of a 20-foot radius sphere of webs.
Yes. You must move slowly in order to escape.
Or I can just jump with this ring of jumping that allows me to jump 40 feet.
And now Tix is going to cast command on the Kenku.
You can't.
I can't?
No, because in my mind, this will kill me.
Well, I don't know that.
True. Bells is fearing for his life at this point. He literally is legitimately scared this thing will eat him.
Okay.
So
He's seen it eat rocks. Like
I'm still gonna cast command and see what that happens, and command him to sit.
Now, this is, first of all, I am going to have you save versus this, even though you have stated, like, well, this would kill me, and you believe that. And I'm going with that, but this is sort of a gray area.
Okay.
So I would like you to make a willpower saving throw.
Okay. 23.
23, that saves. You truly believe that you are about to die. And would anyone else like to take an action before Distant Bells gets to jump?
Leaps away.
Hand me the 3-foot piece of rope. Let's hog tie him. Lovingly, of course.
Of course.
Tix tosses it over to her and says, Klaatu Brata Nikto.
And the rope snakes to life and begins trying to wrap you up. And I would like you to make another reflex saving throw, but you are currently entangled.
I am going to use Escape Artist.
Okay, Escape Artist is actually the skill for this specifically, unless you are tangled, in which case you can use Strength or Escape Artist.
That's a 28.
28. So that you slither away from the rope. This is just like the Benny Hill music is playing.
There's yakety sax going on. You're trying to catch a rogue.
Yep. It is. This is hard. This is really hard.
Right. Bells is going to try to jump. Oh!
Did you finally offset your 20s?
Yep. I just rolled a 1.
Rolled a 1. So
I mean, it's a skill check, so that's 10 plus 7, so that's 17. But, yeah.
Yeah. And what I will say is that you could easily have jumped away from here, but you are avoiding the webs, avoiding the rope.
And one of my legs doesn't work that well, so yeah.
Exactly. All of these things together, there is a moment where you start to leap, and that rope just snakes up and grabs you by the leg and yoinks you back to the ground. You slam into the ground. You become somewhat entangled in the web. And that's when you feel 2 rocky hands at your ankle.
Bells is kicking and screaming. He is terrified.
Okay. You all remember, actually everyone except Distant Bells, you all remember the sound it made when Felzik ate the gem that made up the now departed wizard Bigsby. And there is a terrifying crunch and a reverberation of magic. And for you, Distant Bells, it is not pain. It is cold. You feel cold just shoot through your body like ice. Like you've been dunked into Arctic water and you cannot breathe. And in that moment, you see the face of your mother reprimanding you for trying to pick the lock as the lock shatters on your leg, and by the way is quickly consumed by a rock elemental, and the magic begins to ebb inside that creature and becomes a part of it, and there is a that shoots out everywhere, and the sandy area around you is just like you all see the sand like dance off the ground as you all pause, and in that moment, literally the magic web like disintegrates under the force of this magic, and Distant Bells begins to writhe and change and morph, and it is not clean. It's not like that, like, you know, the arms and legs growing at the same length. It is like one arm shooting out and one leg shooting out, and just horrifying looking. And there's a moment where you all think, "Oh God, we killed him." Like this is definitely killed him. As he screams and collapses to the ground, and you know something is horribly wrong because Distant Bells is not there before you. Someone else is. And Lee, I want you to describe to everyone what they see.
Oh boy.
It's still a bird creature. It's bigger and heftier than Bells was in his previous form. But instead of arms, it has wings.
Aarakocra?
Nope.
It is not unlike an Aarakocra, but it is different. And you actually hear a "huh" from your mother, Penton.
I wasn't expecting that either.
Would anyone like to make a knowledge check?
Sure.
Sure. Let's.
You will need to roll high because none of you have ever encountered one. You know that it's not an Aarakocra. This would be a general knowledge if you do not have a skill for that would be applicable, like dungeoneering, perhaps.
Okay.
Wilderness lore? Or
I actually would accept
nature?
wilderness lore.
Knowledge nature is higher.
Don't think
Nature or wilderness
nature.
lore?
I don't think nature would work. Maybe.
Okay. Wilderness lore then is a 22.
I was going to ask if my knowledge arcana is applicable, but
it's not really Arcana. It's,
okay.
In this particular case, you have a wide breadth of random knowledge, but Tix, you had heard of tell of a creature like this once. Someone had mistaken them for an Aarakocra.
Can I just while this is happening though?
Mm-hmm.
This is when Bells's other form starts to take shape.
Okay, please describe that.
As Tix is kind of realizing what this is, the feathers and the wings disappear and the talons disappear until a few moments later, a human is lying on the floor in front of you, unconscious.
Well, this is weird.
Yes.
what?
Tix is actually absolutely stunned.
And you are stunned, but that confirms exactly what you think, Tix. That lying before you is not a kinku. This is a were-raven. And that's where we'll end! Chafing Armor, episode 154.
Wow.
Great job, everybody!
Oh, okay. That went a little farther than I expected it to go.
That wacky chase at the end was hilarious because you're trying to catch a rogue.
Bell's genuinely feared for his life. He's seen what Felzik can do. And it's the same size as Tex, and he was a 2-foot tall thing. He genuinely feared for his life. Like, he was not gonna let that thing touch him. Like, no.
It's gonna be really hard to catch. Really hard to catch.
Thankfully, you tried to burn his leg off, so it didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that from burning hot flames and fire on his leg to a deep plunging ice, I'm surprised that shackle didn't just burst off by itself from the subjected from 2 different extreme temperatures. But
it could have. That was interesting. By the way, Riley has shown the transformation of Beast at the end of Beauty and the Beast, and that is very accurate, except gross and weird.
We will get a description of his form in the next episode.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll go that. And also, I do want you to briefly tell everyone about your next level and how it relates to the proclamation in our next episode.
I shall.
But we'll go ahead and break for here. Go ahead and check out Chafing Armor at chafingarmor.com. You can also find us on Patreon at Chafing Armor, where we've got a lot of fun stuff there. Does anyone have any socials they'd like to share here?
You can find me at Princess Beast on Instagram.
You can find me at Dare Imagine on Twitter and Instagram.
And just check them out because there's a lot of fun things there. But I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And until we see y'all next time, we will roll with you soon.